Hi, I'm Gene Trowbridge. Thanks for finding our YouTube channel and finding this YouTube presentation called Taking a Test Does Not Work. As the definition of accredited investor keeps changing, somewhere along the line, some people have said, if we could just take a test to be accredited, we would be great. We don't have to worry about the $1 million net worth or the $200,000 or $300,000 annual income. Well, it's not that simple. The people who tell you that you just have to take a test to be accredited, they don't have the full story. And I'm going to give you the full story right now. So let's go through this. And while you're here, be sure to subscribe to our channel if you would. I'm the founding partner of our law firm. I was a syndicator for about 20 years, been in the real estate business. But at 45, I decided to stay in the syndication securities world, but do it as a lawyer. So I went to law school when I was 45. I have a book called It's a Whole New Business, and I'll talk to you about that at the end of this presentation, where you can get a free PDF copy. And in my spare time, an old runner. I run half marathons. I'm older, I'm slower, but I still do it. So that's me. In 2020, the SEC made a change to the definition of accredited investor, and I'll just read what they said here. An initial set of designations were adopted in a separate order for the following certifications or designations administered by the Financial Industry Regulatory Agency, FINSTRA. And there were three of them. You could have a licensed general securities representative, Series 7. You could have a licensed investment advisor representative, license, Series 65, or a licensed private securities offering resident, Series 82. And then it says individuals holding such licenses in good standing qualified as accredited investor, even if they don't meet the income or net worth standards in the accredited investor definition. So that's what it said. So people are stating that if you just take a test, and typically they say take the test for a Series 65 license, you can become an accredited investor. Well, taking the test is one thing, but that's not it. The definition says you have to be a licensed investment advisor representative with your Series 65 license. So you take a test, you pass the test, now you have to be a licensed investment advisor. So it's another job. It just isn't okay to be accredited. So you have to take a test and then get licensed. And you probably don't want to do that just to be considered an accredited investor. What can you do if you're a registered investment advisor? Maybe it's a good career for you. You can legally give investment advice and charge a fee. You can serve as a sponsor or manager of a syndication in Rule 506B or 506C, which is what most of us do. You can collect compensation if you're going to be the sponsor or the manager of the syndication without it being called a commission, because you really can't collect a commission unless you have a different type of license. And you can offer comprehensive financial planning. So you can be in the financial planning business. You get a designation called an RIA, Registered Investment Advisor. You work with clients, and primarily you're a fee-based advisor. They put money with you, you manage it, and you get a percentage of the money that's invested with you. So it's a great business, and while you're doing it, you can do your own offerings, and that's fine. But what can't you do as a registered investment advisor? You cannot earn commissions for the sale of securities. That's not this type of a license. You cannot advertise investment returns without disclosures. Well, that's fine. You're going to put together a private placement memorandum anyhow to tell the story of your offering. You need to avoid conflicts of interest or disclose them. We had one registered investment advisor. It was a woman who was married to a contractor, and they were building projects on the East Coast. And she wanted to put her investors' money in his deals. Well, that's fine, but there were some conflicts that you had to disclose. That the contractor was married to the registered investment advisor, and if it made money, he made money, and probably she made money too as his wife. So we had to explain that. You can work for an IRA. You can start your own IRA firm without filing with the state or the SEC, depending upon the state. You really have to look at the state you want to start with and see what their regulations are. But you have to be a registered investment advisor under your Series 65 license, not just having passed the test. And then you have to file custody rules regarding the handling of funds. Generally, registered investment advisors are using escrow accounts. The funds don't go into their own personal bank account. They go into escrow accounts. So there are things you have to be careful about. But the big point is that there's no rule of the SEC that states simply that by taking and passing a test, you can become qualified as an accredited investor. And I go to a lot of seminars and I hear representatives of FINRA and SEC who talk about this, and they say, no, there's no test. And in fact, they state that they have no appetite for developing or administering a test for people to qualify as an accredited investor that isn't attached to some sort of a license like a 7, a 65, or an 82. So I just wanted to clear the air. My take on this is that taking the test today doesn't work. Maybe they'll come up with something, but not today. I mentioned my book. My book has a lot of great chapters and covers a lot of things, fiduciary duties, entity structures. It talks about tenants in common and LLCs, the securities laws, lending requirements. What are the IRS rules that you get involved with when you're doing a syndication? Accounting procedures. What's a capital account? What's passive losses? How does that work? And investor relations. All that is covered in the 4th edition of my book. And you can go to book.tnllp.com and we will send you a free PDF of my book. So thanks for joining us in our this YouTube presentation. Remember, taking a test just does not work. Here's our direct phone line and our website. I'll see you on another video. Thank you.